What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of my Varlamore Locked Ironman. We're going to be limiting ourselves to the newest area, Varlamore, with a goal of obtaining the Dizana's Quiver. There are a few long grinds that we will discover very quickly into the series, but hey, I didn't want this to be easy. We will only be able to use the items obtained within the Varlamore area, and having never completed the Colosseum before on any account, this will definitely be a challenge for me. I hope you all enjoyed this series, and with that being said, let's dive in. Alright guys, so obviously we're locked to Varlamore, but in order to get there we need to go up and complete the Children of the Sun quest. So we're going to be running up to Vark, trying not to get any levels or anything on the way, and once we get there we're going to complete that, and I will be back with you once that's finished. There's Children of the Sun completed, and I'm actually an idiot. We're going to need rune crafting in order to do some of the things that I plan on doing in this series. So before we head over to Varlamore, I'm going to knock out rune mysteries, and that will be the final thing we do before we lock ourselves in Varlamore. So hang tight, and I will update you when it's done. That completes rune mysteries, and now we can finally lock ourselves away in the long lost land of Varlamore. And finally, here we are, guys, Varlamore. I think I'm going to start off with some combat training. The plan that I have right now is to complete Twilight's Promise and the Perilous Moons quest. And when I said in the beginning of the video we're going to have a long grind, well, we are in for a long grind. We're going to need some Slayer levels, Hunter levels, runecrafting levels, and all of those are going to have to come from lamps. So we're going to hope for some random events, and I'm going to go get some levels up and figure out what we're going to do. Coming up should be the first level of the account, level 2 ranged. Would I even really be a real YouTuber if I didn't miss a level? That's going to be level 2 attack. I didn't think about having no ammunition, so I kind of switched it up to melee. I found a nice little patch of chickens here that have bones, and there's food and an oven right next to me so I can heal up whenever I need. So we're going to be doing melee for a while. And there is 5 attack. Here we just got a beginner clue scroll. We actually can't do any beginner clues or any other clues for that matter besides one easy clue step. So if we get super lucky we might be able to finish a casket, but I don't have any hopes for it in this series. This is where some of my clips got messed up. I actually did a little bit of thieving, got up to 25. I went and bought a POH with some of the thieving money that we made and a steel scimitar. We're going to go do some fishing now. I need some food, and we can actually fish sharks and sell them to a store, so that might be some good money for us, but I'm going to go do a little AFK fishing while I work on editing. My audio actually messed up on this clip too, so I'm just going to let you guys know we hit 100 total level right here, and I did a little exploring before we started fishing. I actually found a steel longsword spawn, and I picked a few of those up to get some money so we can get some fishing bait and feathers for our future fishing grind, but I'm just showing you here what our stats are looking like and giving you an update. What's going on, guys? It's a new day for me. I couldn't sleep last night, so I ended up hopping on the laptop and playing for a little bit. I don't really have any clips from that, but nothing special happened. We did get this lamp from a random event, and I did some calculating. We're going to need upwards of 400 lamps to get to our next goal. I guess our big goal, that is. And I don't know what to put it in yet. I've just been holding on to it. But yeah, I did some mining and smithing last night. I figured we're going to need to do some range training, and since we don't have an Ava's device, I'm going to be making most of our ammo. So I've just been making bronze knives, and I did a little farming, just raking some weeds on the way to the mining area. So That's an update from last night, but I think I'm going to do 1 or 2 more trips of mining and smithing to get 15 for iron, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do next. And real quick, in case you guys are wondering, I started at this bank, and I walked all the way through here. I stopped here at this farming patch. I raked all the patches and collected the weeds there for some farming XP, and then I was walking all the way over here and mining our tin and copper, and then I would bank it back at this bank, and then after I got enough, I would come over to this bank and smelt it at this furnace, and then use this anvil to make some supplies. I made mostly knives, but the other stuff that I made to get to the knives I sold to the general store. It wasn't a lot of GP, but yep, that was the grind I was doing. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing now for 1 or 2 more inventories, but I figured I'd just let you guys know what was going on last night. There is 20 mining. We can now mine silver ore and mining gloves, and we can do size 2 stars. I don't know if stars come here. I've never done a shooting star in this area, but that would be pretty cool. There is 15 smithing. We can now make iron ore in 2 iron bars. So, actually, we're not done here. But we are going to take a break from mining and smithing for a while. When we do go back to it, it'll probably be one of our AFK things where I just mine a bunch of iron and bank it so that we can make iron knives for our range training. Obviously, we're not going to be able to get an Ava's device, so making a lot of these is going to be helpful in the long run. But I am going to go back to fishing, and I'm going to start looking into some best in slots that we can get while we're in Varlamore. So we ended up getting this lamp, and in order to complete Perilous Moons, we're going to need 20 Rune Crafting, 20 Hunter, and 48 Slayer. None of those skills can be trained here at the moment. I think I'm just going to go ahead and start off with the highest requirement and dump this in the Slayer. We're obviously going to need a lot of lamps, so I might change my mind, but it's all got to get done anyway. So we're going to put this in the Slayer for now, and this grind starts now. So I walked all the way down to the fishing spot to use up the rest of this fishing bait, and when I went to go try to catch some fish, I needed a fishing rod. I brought my fly fishing rod. Back to the bank. That is level 25 fishing. We can finally go up and start doing our fly fishing, but I am going to use the rest of this bait and sit here and scour Google and learn everything I can about best in slot items. So once this bait's gone and I have something else, I will be back. So I was not looking at the screen, but there is 30 cooking. We can now cook tuna, apple pies, all that good stuff, but tuna is going to be the big thing for us. And that puts us at 170, coming up on 200 total level. Okay guys, so we're all done with our fishing bait. We have about 500 feathers in the bank, but our cash stack is pretty much non-existent, so that won't last us too long. So we're going to take a little break and go do some PVM, get some combats up. The bait got us up to 28 fishing, 31 cooking, 9 fire making, and 7 wood cutting. We're going to find a spot to go train our melees, and I will be back with you when we figure that out. So if you couldn't tell by that epic montage, we're going to be here fighting these buffalo until probably around 30 melees. These are the stats I'm sitting at right now, just from doing some video editing and stuff. I didn't get the clips of the 20s, but we are going to go up to 30. I was killing a few imps. We have a new best in slot magic helm now, so that's pretty cool. And also, while I was killing these buffaloes, we got our first easy clue scroll. Now, if you look up the drops for these, and if you look on the wiki, it also says unknown. So I'm not entirely sure what the drop rate is between my actual PC here and then me just being on my laptop. I've probably killed 150 to 200 of these things. So who knows what the drop rate is? I didn't even know they dropped them. But I'm going to open it up and let's see if it's a lucky step. And it's not. we gotta drop it. But that's pretty cool that we can get those here, so if we ever try to hunt easy clues, I mean, I guess we can always come here and give that a shot. But figured I'd update you between the grind that we got a clue scroll, and I'll be back at level 30s. I ended up knocking out these 30 combat grinds at the sand crabs. They were a little bit more AFK, and it gave me a chance to look up some things. And I actually discovered quite a bit. So we're going to go into that in this next little clip. We actually ended up getting a pinball event when we were walking around doing some calculations. I can't remember what this gives you, so let's see what we get. 5 uncut, actually 5 cut sapphires. That's potentially huge. I can get rings of recoil with the crafting. That might be useful in the future. I'm not sure, but I like that. Alright guys, I think I have everything sorted out, but before we dive into that, we actually did find a clue scroll from the sand crabs we were AFKing on. So if we do want to try to get a casket, I think AFKing the sand crabs is going to be great for our combats and just for getting some easy clues, but let's see if we can do it. No. Okay. So I had plenty of time to research things while I was AFKing at the sand crabs getting our base 30 melees, and I think I have a plan. So we're going to be looking for some best in slot goals at first, and from what I've found all over Varlamore, our best in slot is going to be this list. We can buy the adamant full helm, the adamant plate body, and the adamant plate legs for our armor slots, and we can also buy an adamant scimitar. And then while I was walking back from a fishing spot, I found a mace shop, and it actually sells a rune mace. So if we're able to buy that, that's going to be our best in slot crush weapon at the moons, and it gives a +4 prayer bonus, which is really nice. Now, the amulet slot was kind of difficult. I looked for a bunch of different ways to get dragon stones, and we technically could if we were to find implings, and we need 84, and I believe it was magpie implings, 84 hunter. And at our current training level, that is going to take forever. So amulet of power is probably going to be our next best option, and we can actually get an uncut diamond drop from sand crabs and hill giants. So that's super rare. It's on the rare drop table, and it's like 1 in 16,000 or something like that. But we can possibly get that drop, and if that's the case, then we'll need a magic level of 57 to enchant, and we will also need 70 crafting to make the amulet. And speaking of levels, here are our level goals. We're going to need 70 crafting for the diamond amulet. Obviously 48 slayer, 20 hunter, and 20 rune crafting, along with 10 construction to complete the perilous moons quest so that we can unlock the moons for our final best in slot items. Those are going to be restricted to our lamps, and they're going to take a long time, but we do need to unlock those, so those are our current long-term level goals. And we also need 57 magic for level 4 enchant so that we can make our best in slot power amulet. When I started the series, I really didn't have any direction. I kind of just made the character and locked myself in Varlamore. So now that we have some goals and some levels to achieve, it's going to give us something to work towards, and it's going to give you guys something to actually enjoy watching instead of just watching me walk around and do random skills. So with that being said, we are going to get to it. Now, in order for us to get our best in slot goals done, we're going to need some cash. I'm going to be leveling up thieving. It's going to be a little slow at first, but once we hit 50 thieving, we can thieve from wealthy citizens. And I have never done this since the release of Varlamore, but looking into it, you can get some pretty good experience rates and also upwards of like 250k an hour GP just doing this method. So we're going to be doing that to get all of our best in slots unlocked down to the rune mace. And then we'll probably continue to do that because we need a lot of crafting levels and we're going to need a lot of runes. So everyone knows by now I'm an absolute pro YouTuber. I just missed 30 thieving, but we are at 30 thieving. We can now do nothing that matters. So I will be back in probably 10 more levels. While we were thieving, we just got a Niles random event. It's not the one I'm looking for, but that's 320 GP we didn't have before. So I will take that. We've been thieving for a little bit now, and we have 4,000 GP. That means we can afford one of our best in slots, the Adamant Scimitar. Look how fucking juicy that is, boys. My gosh, I'm looking like an absolute unit right now. But that is one down, and we are back to thieving to continue our grind. Let's see this new best in slot doing work. 6 max hit now. I think 5 was our max hit before. Absolutely shredding through this guard, coming up on a strength level. But we got a new max hit at 6 so far. That is pretty badass. Any day now. There we go. It's 5 farming. We can now start planting our onion seeds. So we're basically going to have a farming cape on this account. No big deal. I've been killing guards as they've been catching me thieve, and I've actually figured out that I can possibly do medium clues. I got one from one of these guards, and I think it's like 128 drop rate from them. There are 3 medium clue steps in Varlamore. When I looked at the list originally, I overlooked everything, apparently. But I'm going to open this up and see if it's one of the ones we can do. Ah, no, it's not. Scam game. Okay, apparently our medium clue scroll luck at the guards is really good. Let's see if we can do this one. Palador Park. Alrighty, now we got 2 on the ground. And there is 35 thieving. We can now steal from fur stalls. I'm not sure if this is going to be better XP or GP, but it's right here. So we are going to give it a shot real quick. Steal from... Oh, we got a gray wolf fur. All right, let's see what it's worth. Okay, I actually had the hop worlds because I've been selling so many cakes, but the cakes are going for 20 coins right now, and these are also going for 20 coins. So if that's better, then we will just stay over there. Doing my farming runs over here, and we just got 300 total level. Let's go. I've just been sitting here thieving at these fur stalls the whole time, but if you pet Molossus here, or however you say it, Molossus, a good little boy right here. I always just pet him and tell him how much of a good dog he is, but if you do that, and you start the thieving, the guards actually can't get to you. They'll just get stuck right here, and you can thieve away without any interruptions from the guards, so he's been a lifesaver for me. And here's a little example of it. The guard is trying to get me from stealing, and my good boy Molossus here is just keeping him back. We hit 40 thieving about 10 furs ago, but the clip that I got for it was atrocious. So this is a lot cleaner. Here is 40 thieving, and let's get some W's in the comments for our good boy Molossus, because without him, this would have been a bigger headache. So W's in the comments. What a good boy. Conveniently enough, a clean 40 thieving got us 6,500 GP, and we only needed 6,400 for our adamant plate legs. So we're going to go ahead and buy those bad boys. And now we're starting to look like an actual account. Look at that. Adamant plate legs, adamant semi. Let's go. This is where I'm going to end the first episode, though, guys. The episodes are going to start slowing down a lot, specifically because we are expecting a lot of XP from lamps. So I'm not entirely sure how long this series is going to take, but I want to get this episode out there now, just because I know these are going to start slowing down. But if you made it all the way to this point, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to put my links in the description of this video. You can join up in the Discord or follow me on my other socials. But hit that subscribe button. Please like the video if you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next episode.